Welcome back. Our next guest today is Brad Dacus. He is president of the Pacific Justice Institute. Formerly, he was a legislative assistant to U.S. Senator Phil Gramm. And Brad, nice to have you. By the way, are you in Sacramento?
Well, actually in Orange County. We have an office in Sacramento, California.
Oh, okay. All right. Good to see you. Hey, thanks for giving us some of your time. Tell us about the Pacific Justice Institute. What is it?
Oh, certainly. We are a nonprofit 501c3 legal defense organization.
You weren't IRS targeted, were you?
Well, no, we were, but we're trying to defend those who were without charge. We do all our work without charge. We defend faith, family, and freedom. We handle more case matters on the West Coast defending faith, family, and freedom than any other organization in the country. And we have the largest network of attorneys on the West Coast as well, who volunteer their time without charge to go to bat for issues of faith and family.
Well, good for you. And how do people get a hold of your organization?
Certainly. It's the easiest way is just simply to go to our website, which is pacificjustice.org, pacificjustice.org. There they can sign up to get our press releases, our updates. They can also support our work as well and become one of our team partner members. That's
wonderful. Well, thanks for what you do. Hey, there's a lot going on, and I understand even in California now, there's some additional pressures put on the Boy Scouts. And of course, they most recently have had an incredible ruling allowing homosexuals in next year. Where do you think this is going to go and lead to?
Well, this outrageous piece of legislation is most alarming. It's called the Anti-Boy Scouts Bill. And what it does is, and it's unbelievable, it actually says to all nonprofit youth organizations in California, it says that unless they're willing to hire homosexual leaders, youth leaders, or transsexual, transgender youth leaders, if they're not willing to do that, then they're going to lose their state tax-exempt status, a huge burden on any of these nonprofits. And that includes not only the Boy Scouts, the 4-H Club, Special Olympics, it also includes religious Christian organizations, potentially like Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Young Life, Youth for Christ, and Awanas. So it's a very serious assault on religious freedom, freedom of association, and all under the guise of tolerance. It is outrageous intolerance.
Wow, unbelievable. Where is it in the process?
Well, this is even more alarming, Perry, where we're at, in that many people thought, well, it's not going to go anywhere. It's already passed the state Senate in California at a vote of 27-9, all Democrats voting for it, all Republicans voting against it. It's now on its way to the state assembly where it's going to be very close. And if we're not able to stop it, then it'll be going to the governor's desk. And if it's signed into law, you can be assured that we at the Pacific Justice Institute have already made a commitment to challenge it in federal court as being an unconstitutional violation of religious freedom and the rights of organizations to carry out their convictions and what they feel is best for young people.
All right, so what does this tell you that's happening to the Christian faith? I mean, it seems to be under assault at all levels under the name of tolerance.
Yes, the whole issue of, for example, like homosexual marriage, that's not the big issue as far as I'm concerned. That's an issue. But we're much farther down the river in terms of intolerance, in terms of people of faith, because now we have laws pending like this that are outright oppressive of people who believe differently. And that's the real problem here. The real rub is that these laws now, which had first the guise of just tolerance, are now being overtly persecuting of institutions that are simply carrying out their beliefs and convictions on both on a federal level, state level, a local level. And we at Pacific Justice Institute, consequently, are fighting these very aggressively. In fact, Perry, if I could just touch on one.
Sure.
SB 1172 became law in California on January 1st. This is a new law which bans any counselors, including Christian counselors, any licensed counselors, from giving any counsel from anyone under the age of 8 to anyone under the age of 18 that is struggling with same-sex attraction. It prevents from getting any counseling to them that in any way steers them away from same-sex attraction or same-sex sexual conduct.
Wow.
So this is outrageous. We've already gone into federal court. We at Pacific Justice Institute, we argued the case. We got a federal judge to grant a preliminary injunction on behalf of our clients against this new law, and it's now pending before the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. But it just shows you how extreme it is in that this new law would even apply to clergy who who are licensed counselors.
All right. So it seems to me, Brad, what we're really dealing with here now, and I agree with you, all these issues are important, and we ought to, as we feel led by the Lord to be involved in the various issues, we ought to certainly participate there. But now it's accelerated to the simple issue of religious freedom.
Right. Exactly. And we're talking about the need for the church to, it's not a matter of just, whether I morally think of it right of this group or that or this people and what they're doing. That's not the issue. The issue is out of love for children and truth for us to step up to the plate and to defend the ability for youth ministries to continue to manifest the love of Christ to these young people, many in inner cities who have no father or male role models growing up, and their ability to function. And if we don't defend these nonprofit youth organizations, for example, or counseling ministries, the next on the chopping block, I'm convinced, Perry, is going to be churches, in synagogues, and religious institutions themselves, and telling them that they have to lose their state tax exempt status as well, or be punished in similar ways. This is the end game that we see being played out just a few years from now if we're not able to stop this. And Lord willing, we're very hopeful that we will, pursuant to the grace we've been given through our Constitution and the grace we've seen God in our courts to date.
That's wonderful. Brad, back to Boy Scouts just for a moment. Do you think they had any other option besides letting the homosexuals in?
Yeah, it's really interesting. They could have stayed with their existing policy. The real critical factor, as far as I'm concerned, is how they implement this new policy. Frankly, it's very common for young boys and early adolescents, 12, 13, 14 years old, a lot of Boy Scouts of that age, to have curiosities, have struggles, have fears that they may be homosexual. Those kinds of feelings are actually pretty normal in that they're addressing these kind of struggles from boyhood to manhood. So as far as having boys in that have struggles in this area or feel like they may be homosexual, that's not the issue. The issue is whether they take this policy, because the Boy Scouts is all about helping them go into manhood and affirming their masculinity and manhood and confidence in manhood. So the real question is whether they're going to allow this to be a guise to approve of homosexuality and to salute homosexuality. And that is the real concern that we have at the Pacific Justice Institute. We're hopeful that the Boy Scouts, while welcoming those in who are struggling with homosexuality, who think they're homosexual, which is very fluid at that age, that they still maintain the moral compass and the moral guidelines that they have against any such sexual activity or conduct. And we're hopeful that they will do that.
A couple quick things. Tell us about your case with the American Humanist Association.
Yeah, this is outrageous, Perry. This lawsuit was filed against the city of Lake Elsinore. The city of Lake Elsinore is funding a war memorial which depicts a classic European cemetery for war of veteran people who died in World War II. It has a row of crosses, even a Jewish a Jewish Star of David as a grave marker. It also has a soldier there, an American flag. The caption is defending freedom. So it's clearly of a secular purpose of recognizing those who've died in war and defending our freedom and liberty. And yet, because it has some crosses on it and a Star of David, even though it's in a secular setting for a secular purpose, this lawsuit is trying to halt it from being implemented. We at Pacific Justice, as we have before for other cities, we're representing the city of Lake Elsinore without charge, and we've committed to defend this war memorial all the way to the United States Supreme Court if necessary, on behalf of those who died in defending our freedoms in the first place.
Unbelievable. Listen, you're terrific. I want to have you back, and people can go to pacificjustice.org to find out more about what you do and maybe even support what you do. And Brad, thank you for what you do. This is incredible, and I really want to keep tabs on you on the movement of that bill there in California.
We'd love to do so, and I appreciate your fine work as well, Perry. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
All right, God bless you. We'll be right back.